All right, so we should be live right now, but before we kind of get this interview underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out my friend Jojo Wright. Rest in peace to him. Died January 27th. But shout out mom and dad and stuff like that. But those three.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, man, I guess you get right into the interview. So I want to start it off. We gotta talk about this recruitment process. We'll kind of go through that whole journey, then talk about Virginia and all that stuff, and then maybe high school, AU, maybe something funny comes up. But as first things first, kind of when did this whole recruitment process just start for you, and how that just all go overall?
It started pretty fast. Going into the summer of this year, I didn't have any offers or interest. I was a senior, and I was planning on doing a post grad year once the whole COVID thing happened. So I kind of jumped on the AAU route, my New York Jayhawks and the three SSB, and we kind of went to Alabama, and that's where it kind of really picked off. A lot of my offers came from there. I got a couple over the summer because of my post grad team. We did like a little showcase with some like mid rangers, but like when I got to Alabama, my game kind of picked off, and then a lot of schools just started hitting me up a lot. And then throughout the circuit, throughout the teams we played and everywhere, that's where it started to pick up for me.
Yeah, and that actually is crazy because I'm looking at think at least according to the highlights that you have of your offers. I think you got your first offer like 29 weeks ago, so I think it's around like AU time or so because there's going to be
Yeah,
two
around there.
weeks in a year. So yeah, so you definitely got those offers recently, which that's kind of crazy. So would you say the reason why you were getting those offers super late was it more because you got better as a player, or was it maybe because like people just haven't seen you yet, or maybe a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I wasn't the best going into my years, but I think once entering my senior year, I started feeling like I was really that guy. And if I had that year, I would have been getting the offers that I have now. But once COVID hit, that kind of pushed everything back. So that was both of those were kind of the main reasons why it came really late for me.
Yeah, so I'm curious, like that's honestly like a pretty cool story. Like you were planning on having a post grad year, and all of a sudden now like you got tons of offers, and you're committed to Virginia. Just crazy. This is this recent chapter of your career been where you weren't even planning on playing college basketball next year and planning on doing post grad, but now that's kind of all out the window, and now you're playing at Virginia, one of the top programs in the country.
Yeah, no, I'm still doing post grad because I have to wait for
Okay.
2022. But it was all really surreal for me. Like you said, I didn't really think I was going to get one. I'll have to wait till this year, and then once fast forward, it went just like rapid, really rapid. So it was kind of surreal moment for me. But on to the next chapter. Now I got to start locking in and get ready for this year. So once I get that, I'll be ready.
So I want to make sure I'm getting this right. So are you like, so you're technically supposed to be in class of 2021, but then you like reclassified or to do the
Yeah,
post
I'm
grad?
doing a post grad year here at Virginia
Okay,
School.
okay, all right, that makes more sense. All right, I wasn't sure if you like true 2022 or
No,
something
it's
like
all
that.
right.
Yeah, I was out because of course I was 24/7 sports. There I got you 2022, everything like that. Because I guess you made that decision really early, so it's not like they haven't had time to really update update everything. But I guess how's your post grad journey started at all this year, or are you guys like have
Yeah,
you
we played a couple games. We played a couple games right now. It's been going well. Just learning how to play, getting that experience of having the ball in my hands a lot sometimes. Being able to score and be more aggressive is kind of a big thing I'm trying to learn now. So once I get there, it can all click for me and start early.
Yeah. So how are you kind of like handling this year since I'm sure this competition isn't going to be I'm sure it's great competition, but it's probably nowhere near the level of ACC basketball is going to be. Like how are you kind of handling this post grad year where you were planning on doing it to get yourself a bunch of exposure, but now you got it already, you're already committed. So what are you really trying to get out of this year since you already got your commitment out of the way?
Get a lot of experience playing. I'll say I didn't really play a lot my senior year because of COVID. My junior year, I wasn't this height. I wasn't who I was. So this is kind of more like development, learning how to play through mistakes, and playing on being the best Ryan. So once I get to the ACC and playing that type of basketball, I can be ready outset for me.
I guess you kind of answer this question, but like, do you think I would say maybe we'll go August 2021. Well, actually, I'm not really sure. I think you committed in like September, so I guess we'll say September when you committed. Did you think like you were ready for college basketball, or like are you really happy that you have this year now to prepare and get even better?
I'm happy. I was thinking about it, but I think I made the best choice for me. Like I said, just development, being able just to play through my mistakes. I think is kind of the best thing for me. It's what I needed. That's what my parents think I needed. I talked to my coaches. They thought I was ready, but they also kind of understand the fact of I hadn't played really in a system like that. So I think for me, that's kind of the best decision that I made right now.
And I know post grad like is competitive, but I guess it's almost it kind of worked out for you too, where like you're not playing with some sort of state championship thing on the line kind of thing. It's more like you're playing post grad to get you even more ready for college. So that now when you when you get to Virginia, it's almost like you're a freshman and a half. You're like maybe
Yeah.
a freshman and sophomore in a way.
Yeah, no. Like you said, I'm still gonna try to compete and try to go get a chip here because we're looking to get one. But for me, that it's kind of both ways. I'm also trying to compete to win, but also trying to get better. So I'm kind of trying to even those out just to be ready, like you said.
Yeah. And the way basketball works, which I learned, I guess, in these past 4 years of being my school's basketball manager, like basketball isn't just go out and just do your thing. Like there's something behind every single thing that happens in a basketball game. So are you working on like anything that maybe Virginia does that they kind of told you about for not in terms of like your game, like oh be more aggressive or something like that, but are there maybe some types of screens that they set that you're trying to get used to and get comfortable setting? Like, are you trying to do any of Virginia's defensive or offensive philosophies and implement that into how you play basketball right now with this post grad year?
I'm trying to. I'm just trying to play a lot more defense because they really have heavy defense too. So for me, just being able to be in the stance and guarding for them, but also trying to learn what our school's trying to do in their concepts. So I'm trying to do everything like that. Offensively, probably coming off more screens and learn how to attack off that because they set a lot of screens for a lot of wings and guards. So I think me working on that here with my coaches and the team, that's probably what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, and I was thinking this question I'm about to ask you was going to fit in at like a different spot in the interview, but I think now is kind of a good spot for it. So I remember one of my school's basketball coaches was saying like, "Oh, you guys got to watch Virginia. Like, you know why Virginia is good every year? It's not because they get all these crazy recruits, even though like Virginia gets, they always have a solid recruiting class, but they're not getting, the number one player, the number two player, like how we saw with Zion and RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish. Like they're not doing that, but they're getting these guys that are more like diamonds in the rough, or I mean, I guess you're not really a diamond in the rough, but compared to I guess you say the top 150, you'd be considered a
Yeah.
diamond rough kind of thing. So they're getting those diamond in the rough kind of players. Like just how special is this Virginia program where they're getting guys like you, where you're ranked, the 108th player, not even top 100, and you already know like with whatever recruiting class we're getting coming in, they're going to be really really special.
I mean, it's a blessing to me. I feel like the fact that they took a shot on me, I'm not top 100, says a lot about their culture and their play style, and I really enjoyed that. That's kind of the reason why they didn't want the guys that they wanted. They're fine with having diamonds in the rough because they feel like they can take us and our recruiting class and make it a really good recruiting class. So that was kind of a big thing for me.
Yeah, and this 2022 recruiting class, I know you guys got a good amount of guys. What are your expectations for you guys as the incoming class?
Just to go out and compete, I'll say. Try to come out and do the best we can for Virginia. Being able just to come out and be ready for whatever we hit. So I feel like we'll be ready for that.
Yeah. And now going back to this whole recruiting process thing, so I guess kind of like how it works for most people. In the beginning, you're the offers, you're not getting those high major offers, and all of a sudden, like you get one and it kind of starts to explode. Virginia offered you could say near the end of your recruitment, maybe like they got like that. If we made it like a number line, they'd be more towards the final offer kind of side. Maybe like if this is the middle, Virginia be made like right here maybe.
Right around there, yeah.
Kind of something like that. So just that kind of shows that you definitely like that program a lot. Where they almost hopped on you a little bit late. Just how did you really make that decision and come down to Virginia?
It was kind of a it was tough. Discussing when I got off the I took a Zoom with Coach Bennett. I had a tournament. He came to come watch me play, and then he texted me a night of, and he said he wanted to have a Zoom with me. And me and my parents sat down with them. We had a Zoom call. It was really good. I kind of grew a lot of interest into that program. And I needed to go see it more. So I took my visits to Pittsburgh and Minnesota. That was good visits. And then once I got to Virginia, I kind of knew it was that for me. That was the school that I kind of wanted to be at, just from their program, what their play style is. I really could see myself a good fit there, and hopefully, me coming there can be a good thing for them.
Yeah, and I mean your top eight is all high major schools. I mean Boston College, Minnesota, Virginia, Georgetown, Maryland, Oklahoma State, South Carolina, Pittsburgh. Just by saying that list, before we maybe get into like a little more specific, just how does that feel knowing? Like, I mean, your final eight choices, all top high major programs. It's just how does that feel? Really thinking about that, looking at that.
Yeah, if you would have asked me, if you would have told me that 2 years ago, or like even a month ago, or 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I wouldn't believe you. So it's kind of still surreal to me and a blessing that that a lot of those schools took a chance on me to being able to play for their program. It's surreal to me also.
Yeah. So then when you had to kind of cut it down, I mean, I don't know, like, did you even end up taking any visits to any other schools, or just how did you go from that eight to then all of a sudden picking Virginia?
Yeah, I picked my schools. I went to go visit Pittsburgh first, and then the week after I went to go visit Minnesota, and then the week after I went to go visit Virginia. And I think after that, I kind of knew I wanted to go there, so I didn't want to waste any people's time, waste anybody's time, and waste my time, my parents' time. So I just said, yeah, I think it's a wrap. So we just decided to go from there.
So Virginia, like you had other visits, I guess, planned after that, but it was more just you were there and you were set. And that's kind of why it was more coincidence that like that was your final visit and that ended up being your choice.
Yeah, I had some visits that I wanted to plan out after Virginia, but I think after that visit, like I said, I just knew that this is where I should be at. So I just had to accept that, and let's go from there.
Yeah, and just how cool were all those visits? Where again, I loved how you say, and like I say this too. Like if someone told me a year ago that I'd be talking to a Virginia commit, I would say you're lying. I guess kind of same thing for you. Which I mean, I'm sure you knew because you knew like I'm gonna play post grad and get more exposure. Like you probably knew how good you were going to end up being. But it's just how cool is that too? Like you're going on these visits, getting the treatment from the coaches, being able to put on those jerseys. Is how cool was all those experiences?
It was cool, man. Just going to all these colleges that I grew up watching as a kid, and now I get the chance to put on their jerseys and go visit their campuses and talk to their coaches was cool. But it was also for me kind of learning at the stuff that I want to hear, not what I want to see. So like the jerseys was cool, but I also needed to hear stuff that I needed to hear to be in order. So it was really cool, good experience, but it was also a learning experience for me.
And since you kind of brought that up, like, oh, there was something that I like, it was more of the stuff that I wanted to hear, or not. Well, you don't want people to tell you the stuff that you want to hear. You want to be like whatever you heard was obviously what kind of got you hooked on Virginia a little bit. Was there maybe any specific moment on that visit where you're like, yeah, this is the school, or anything like the coaches said, and you're like, yep, like that's it, where you really just made that decision?
Yeah, so for Virginia, it was Coach Bennett telling me just as a freshman, he wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything. He was saying if you can come in as a freshman and play, you're going to play. If you can't, we're going to redshirt you and get your development and get you really good. So when you come as a sophomore or redshirt freshman, we have you ready. But that was kind of a thing. He didn't sugarcoat anything to me. He just told me straight up, and I really respect that because a lot of coaches told me that I'm coming in and playing, and I know that's not the case. I know people say that too, but it doesn't happen like that. So that was kind of a big thing to me.
Yeah. So I'm curious, since you said you like that, and I guess it's good you want to have it on as coach, but since this year you're playing post grad where you could have been at Virginia right now, then potentially next year if you happen to redshirt, then you're kind of sitting that whole year out. Like, how come it's something you're okay with doing where you're not taking 2 years away from playing college basketball? Like, how are you okay with doing that?
For me, me and my parents are kind of religious, and I feel like if that's God's plan for me or God's path, then I'm ready to take that path. I always took the long route when I was younger, so it's kind of new to it. So that's why I'm trying to shorten this process up right now. So that's why I'm trying to really lock in now. So once I get there, I don't have to wait for that. But if I do, then it's is what it is. I'm gonna keep working, keep going, keep waiting, keep playing.
Yeah, and I just want to make it clear, like I think what you're just like, I think you're making, I guess, the right decision, but I'm more trying to just kind of get a feel for like, I guess your thought process. You know, like I'm doing some devil advocate kind of stuff. Like
Yeah,
I
no.
think it's smart.
It was tough to hear. It was tough, but I think for me, it was the right thing that I needed to hear. Um, whatever happens, happens. I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready to get there and start playing. But like we said, just getting ready to lock in now, getting ready to play, and then once we get there the first summer, I can lock in and start playing for them, and hopefully Coach B gives me a chance to show myself on the floor next year.
Yeah, but I do like though how I say that because it's like you hear all the stuff with like the transfer portal, like last year was insane. So it's like, because I think what happened was that a lot of kids have to just rush in that decision to Corona. Like all these offers are getting, or all the scholarships, all the spots are filling up. Everyone's committing quick, or the players can't go on visits. They can't. I mean, even like talking on Zoom, like you really don't get a feel for that person. Like it's a whole different thing when you're seeing the school and being with them in person. So all these guys are at all these schools, and all of a sudden, everyone's changing. So I think one of the biggest reasons that a lot of guys thought they were going to play or were told they were going to play. Now I would search up these guys they interviewed, like their stats, and it's like 0.2 minutes a game, like
Hmm.
only scored 2 points one game. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. It's not what I thought compared to what they were kind of telling me. So I think it's smart where you're happy to be at Virginia. It's not like you don't know what's
Yeah,
going on when you get there.
yeah. No, I'm happy to be there. It's not like I'm gonna be sad and stuff like that. It's like I gotta work for what I want to get to. I'm not just gonna be handed to it. I'm playing in probably the best conference in college basketball, so I'm gonna have to just work to be ready for that, play.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew what I was thinking, but I was literally about to ask you. I've been playing the ACC, which is one of the best conferences in college basketball. I mean, what teams are you excited to go up against, or even maybe or also too, maybe what visiting arena are you excited to play in? Because you're going to be traveling a good amount too.
I was my brother played baseball and he played for Boston College, so again the ACC, so that's also crazy. But for me, again, like the whole historic Duke Cameron Indoor, I can't wait to go to that. UNC, get ready to play in there, and D. Smith in that place. Florida State, every school. I'm just excited.
Yeah. So I guess just saying your brother played baseball. So I guess you guys have like a lot of play especially Boston College baseball. Like I don't know too much about college baseball. I know the University of Miami is usually pretty good, and since Boston College is in the ACC and Miami's in the ACC, they compete with them. So obviously they're not too shabby at baseball. Just what's it kind of having another Division I athlete in your family, and how do you utilize that? I guess you could say to help you out with your decision.
Yeah, no. So he went there. He went there when I was little, and then he got drafted to the Mets. Got traded to the Mariners. He's with the Mariners right now. So that was kind of big for me because he's been through the college process. So he kind of helped me to say, listen, take these visits, enjoy them, but also like I said, hear what you want to hear. Don't hear what you want to hear. Hear what you need to hear. So like my dad said the same thing with my dad. So that was kind of also a really big thing to me of having a guy like that on my right hand side, just helping me throughout this recruitment process.
Yeah, and I do know Boston College was in your final eight. Was he at all pushing for Boston College at all, or was he kind of staying out of it?
He kind of stayed out of it. He let me just make my decision. He didn't try to do anything with Boston College. That was a hard choice for me too. We both could have been there, could have made our names together, but it was also tough though. But it's cool to come back and now being able to play against them. So hopefully he would become watching me play and stuff.
Yeah, and you did say he got drafted to the Mariners, right?
He got to the Mets and then got traded to the Mariners in 2016, 2018 or something.
Okay. All right. Well, what I like about the baseball process, what I think is kind of similar to you, is that I don't think many players. I don't know too much about baseball, but I know the minor league stuff in baseball is treated, I guess, kind of the same, but kind of differently to the way as any other sports, where basically every drafted player, like you're going to the minor leagues and you're playing there, and everyone's just working their way up to get to the MLB. It's not like you're drafted straight to the MLB. So kind of how oh, here, I'll wait for a second.
My bad. Somebody came. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. But anyways, yeah, like the way your process has been, where you're playing post grad, and then you might even I mean, I'm gonna assume probably not because you're already playing post grad, but you might even redshirt and take more time until you play at Virginia. It's kind of similar to the whole baseball process where you get drafted and you're not in the MLB yet. First, you gotta start off with all the training camp stuff and then go through the minor leagues. So it's really giving you a lot of advice about trusting the process. Since even if you're a great baseball player, like you're going through a long journey until you get to the MLB. It doesn't matter how good
Yep.
you are, really.
Yeah, no, same thing. Like he went through a long journey. So him and my parents always told me trust the process. Don't try to make anything out of it. Just take it, let it ride you out. Let it keep going. Just keep going. Enjoy it. It's going to be tough, ups and downs, but always just trust the process and just keep working. That's kind of a big thing for me.
Yeah, and then now we go into your high school basketball experience a little bit. Playing at LUHI, kind of forgot what that stood for. All due respect, but I do know they are a great program. What was it like just being a part of that team and playing for them for high school basketball?
Yeah, no problem. Luha was a great thing for me. Um, Again, playing 30 minutes away from my house, going in my junior year. I didn't really play a lot. I guess we had Andre Cabello, Zed Key, all those top guys, James Celestine, and I was kind of I was like 6'3", wasn't that big, so for them to even give me a shot to play was kind of shocking for me. And then throughout the season, they kind of start putting me in some minutes, little by little, and then I started playing a little bit more, and it kind of gave me a little more confidence that I can play against these kids. And then going into my senior year, I was ready. I grew. I had a big growth spurt. Grew from like 6'4" to 6'7". Got a lot stronger, a lot faster, a lot better. I feel like I was a good player, really good player. But then once COVID hit, it's kind of like, now what am I going to do? It was kind of a different path for me. We went from trying to play 30 games last year, 2 years ago, to playing 3 games. So, but I was also grateful just to play. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. You're all good.
Okay. My bad.
Uh,
Something.
yeah, all good, all good. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I got you. We're good.
All right. Well, I guess my next question. I feel like again, I've never seen you play, so I don't want to like bring any false hope or anything like that. But I feel like you got a lot of experience. Like you have that diamond in the rough potential just based off all these stories you've been telling me. Like I feel like you're the great guy. Like if you go to the league or play pros, like I could just see you being that guy goes to these high school games and you're the guy that all the coaches like you got to meet this person. And then you tell them the story and they're all like, see, like get inspired from this person. Like you really got a special story. Just how are you kind of going to use
Thank you.
this whole path and this whole journey that you've got ahead of you to really make you a great basketball player? Because this journey sounds like perfect story for an NBA star right now.
Like you said, just trusting the process, not taking it a day, just not trying to rush anything. Just take it by day. Keep working out. Keep getting better. Like you said, this post grad year, get better, get aggressive. Get ready for Virginia. If I play, get my confidence going to be up to be able to play. So hopefully, if I get that shot to go to the NBA or get that shot to get drafted, I'll be ready. So once I come back and tell people about my story and stuff. So I'm just excited to do that. So for me, just being humble, staying who I am, and not changing is kind of a good one for me.
Yeah, and so I guess you'd say this is probably a big part of your success, and I'm assuming it is because you're even repping their merch right now. The New York Jayhawks. Just how did you get involved with that program, and just what do they do to really help you and get your career to where it is today?
Yeah, that was kind of a big turning point for me. So, Coach Jay, shout out to him. He coached me at Lehigh, and he had the Jayhawks, so he kind of put me on that during this year. And like you said, that this was the team that kind of got my name out. Playing in the circuit, going against all these top guys, representing the Jayhawks was kind of big for us, big for JLs getting their name out, and big for me getting my name out. So that was also kind of a really good thing for me, and that's kind of why I kind of picked with the Jayhawks. I knew him, I was comfortable with Coach Jay. He was honest with me. He told me what I needed to hear. He screamed. He was there for me. So he was always a great guy.
Yeah. Is it like coincidence that the guy's name is Coach J? And it's like the Jayhawks. Is that like a
I
coincidence?
don't I don't think it's coincidence, but I have no clue.
All right. Oh, so you think like the name was made on purpose?
I think it was. I think it was just named the Jayhawks just BJ. I don't think it was because his name was Jay.
Okay. All right. That's definitely all right. That's definitely interesting. And you said how the AAU, that's what got the whole recruiting process going for you. But was there like some particular game you played in where you just did something, and that's kind of where are like some players, they'll have like a couple offers, and all of a sudden you're playing some big game and drop like 50 points, and after that day, for like the next week, like there's a blow up with offers. So did that similar moment happen for you, or was it just more the whole summer overall? It was like a little bit of offers every single tournament.
I think my first game playing in the circuit was kind of like the come out story for me. I didn't really play AAU a lot when I was younger. I wasn't really the best, and I didn't play a lot in the circuit. So this was actually my first time playing in the circuit. So the first team we played, I think it was Indian Elite. Coming in, I started playing well. Got my confidence. I had like one good dunk in the first half, and I really went out there. I caught somebody in the second half, and we came out winning the game. I had a game winning layup. Boost my confidence a lot. And then after that, my phone just started going, like you said, like rapidly, like calls are coming in, texts are coming in. I get back to the hotel, coaches are calling me, and then overall, I had some up and downs in the summer. I'm gonna be honest. It was some good I did really well, some good I did bad, but I think that game kind of showed me who I could really am if I really play with that confidence.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned confidence, and again, for like a guy like you, with your whole journey, I'm sure you've had maybe some moments where you're not feeling the most confident. Like you said, you didn't play too much in high school, and especially with Corona, that obviously didn't give you a lot of playing time. I mean, now you're at a post grad program right now. You didn't even go like straight to Virginia. You have to kind of take that the extra step. Like we could kind of make the claim that there's been a lot of moments in your career that could have brought down your confidences. How have you learned to build that up and just play with a lot of confidence? And 'cause that's just such an important aspect to being a good basketball player.
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of confidence. I would be honest. I didn't really grew up with it. There were some games where I played really well, and there was a lot of games where I thought I wasn't a good basketball player. But for me, like we said, just trusting the process, enjoying it. That's going to come with it. For me, just coming out and say basketball is just fun. I'm going there just to play and have fun. It's not nothing really crazy. I'm not. It's not win or die. It's just when I go out and just have fun. So for me, I kind of just took that in AAU. I'm just going to go out and just be the best Ryan I can be, and then that kind of helped me just be okay with making mistakes and not worrying about who yelling at me. And I still struggle with it sometimes too. That's also why I'm here, just to be able just to play through that mistakes and play through that confidence of I'm that guy. I can be that guy if I need to, and just come out and being able to play how Ryan Dunn can play.
Yeah. But I guess again, I told you I'm a little bit of devil's advocate, like being a guy where you're learning how to boost up your confidence. And I guess you could say like maybe this is more of like a don't be actually I don't even know. This is more of like you gotta do your best kind of thing. But going into AU this year where you don't really have any offers, or you maybe didn't have any offers at all, like were you at all, I mean, super anxious where it's like that was almost like your last one of your last chances to really prove yourself to college coaches? Was that something you were nervous for? Like really nervous for?
So to be honest, I didn't really think of it like that. No, I just came out and just wanted to play. I think it was in the back of my mind, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, "Oh, I gotta play this way or this way, and I can get these all versus my last time playing the AAU." Like I said, I had my mind set on post grad, so if I didn't play, shoot, let's just go do a post grad year and let's see what I can get from there. So it was kind of just let's just go out, let's just have fun and see what happens. I didn't really think of it as like I have to play the best of my ability or I won't get these offers.
Yeah. So then hypothetically, like let's say that in AU basketball you did terrible and you're going to post grad now, would you at all be nervous for like really nervous for post grad? Because that would be like almost like your final chance, or then what would be your mentality towards that if that happens?
Same thing, just go out and play. Like you said, like the process, enjoying that, I think that's part of it, part of my path. So if I knew I had to go do it, let's just go tag it head on. Let's go play, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm all in all grateful that it came before that. I'm just blessed that it came before I had to play post grad.
Yeah, and Virginia, very very highly academic school. I'm assuming you're a pretty smart guy. Do you have at all any idea what you plan on studying when you're over there?
I don't know yet. I'm gone Michael underside and started picking that out, but I'm still trying to figure that stuff out now.
Yeah, and I try to talk about religion on my podcast, but you did say you're like a heavily religious guy. And I think at least the way I almost interpret religion is my favorite quotes though, everything happens for a reason. Like I just feel like God has that plan. Like of course not God did this for a reason. Like I'm a believer in God. I'll put it out there, but I love the quote. Everything happens for a reason. Like I just think that's kind of how it works. I mean Drake said it best. God's plan.
Yeah.
That's a bar right there. I mean, just how much is like religion? I wouldn't just say kept you grounded, but like helped you, with trusting that process. That's what something you've been saying this whole interview.
Yeah. So my mom kind of implement religion, Christianity into me kind of big. We always went to church, and he always told me just believe in God. God has a plan for you. So God had a plan for me, and there was times where I kind of questioned. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's not really happening. There's stuff that happened in my life that kind of bring it down. But once it kind of all picked up, I knew he was always going to be there with me. It was part of the plan. It's part of what he had. So I guess big shouts to her. She kind of helped me bring God in my life and just being able just to continue to thank him for everything that he's done for me, and giving me the praise. So I pray before every game with her. Try to start doing that. Just being able just to believe in him and just going out and play.
Definitely. Well, anyways, man, we made it to the end of the interview. I just got one more kind of final question to wrap up the whole thing. I guess just what do you want your legacy to be like once you step away from the game of basketball?
Being able to influence others, being able to be there for others, being able just to be a guy that people can look towards to, that ask for advice if they need something, whatever. Being able to somebody that can look up to and just be a role model.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, man, really, really appreciate you taking your time, letting me interview you. As we have a tradition with these interviews, if I'm because I'm about to plug your Instagram, but I do see there's a number in your bio, the number 3. So what I gotta ask, what does that number? What does that number mean to you?
It's not a big meeting. I wore it through high school, and I kind of really did like it, so I kind of wanted to stay with number 3. And then I couldn't get it through the AAU season, so I wore number 13. So if I can get something with a 3 in it, I'm gonna wear 3, even though I'm wearing 5 this year. But I really like number 3. I think it fits best with me. So
yeah, is that just like a just cause kind of thing, or it was like
it's just cause it was 3, 13, and 10 because like I said before, I said my friend Joe Ray, he passed away. He wore number 10 playing basketball. So if I can wear 10, I'm gonna probably wear 10. But those 3 are kind of the big 3 numbers for me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, again, really, really appreciate you coming on. Before we get in the interview, make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram. His is at almighty_ry3. And I'm at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for 2022 Virginia commit Ryan Dunn, I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.